He's saying something looks and sounds different today, and that's because it does. I am not going to be doing green screen because it is 100 and just clicked over to 110 degrees here, and I'm not going to have my lights on because that's just miserable. And also, you might hear the humming of an air conditioning unit in the background, and you know, that's just the way it is. I got this right close to my face, and the volume turned down as much as I can, so I don't know how much you hear it. Hopefully it's not too loud though. So that's all I can say. Hopefully it's not too loud. Switch this over to live chat. Pompeii Ranch with a $5 super chat says, "Can I put my 2 parrotfish in a 75-gallon with 1 dojo loach, 2 gouramis, 5 cories, 3 plecos, and 13 harlequin rasboras? I'm thinking everything is going to be okay except for the harlequin rasboras." Fish Tank Barn with a $5 super chat says, "Steenfott Ice Fun, stay cool, man." Yeah, and so I figured I'm not using the green screen. I'm going to wear everything green I can find. So I got this sweet green shirt from Sergeant Tank. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it. And my sweet green Sasquatch hat. It's got Sasquatch print all over it. Yeah, so it's like the only chance I have to wear green. So I found whatever green I could find. And that's what I'm going. Because it freaking itches, man. Itches. I don't know what's going on. The AC isn't bad at all for the audio. Good. I'm glad to hear. I almost didn't even go live today. I was just like, it's so hot, and I don't want to like keep bringing up the heat, but it is freaking hot. And besides, that's what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be a short stream. I'm definitely not going to go 2 hours. All my dogs are crammed in here. The door is closed. AC running full blast. And we're going to see. Maybe we make it an hour. Maybe we don't. But there's been a lot of questions going around online on how to keep my tanks cool. And you speak a lot of time outside. Greeting from Pittsburgh. Is Bigfoot real, Bob? I don't know. I have no idea. I'll go quickly off topic here before we get started. We're still waiting for people to roll in here, anyways. So on our outdoor channel, I always joke about searching for Bigfoot and Yetis and Sasquatch, things like that. And somebody commented, like, "I remember when I believed in Bigfoot, and then I grew up." And I was just thinking, man, what a miserable person. Like, it just reminded me of the movie Hook with Peter Pan. I don't know what. I mean, whatever. It reminded me of that movie. If you've never seen that movie, Robin Williams plays Peter Pan, and he grows up and he loses his imagination. And that's all I can think about was this guy. Like, so you remember when you lost your imagination? Good for you, buddy. It doesn't matter if he exists, if Bigfoot exists, or if he doesn't. It's just, it's fun. Like, who cares? Tesla Kill Dothra with a $6.37 super chat. Try to stay cool, Bob. Here's super chat for your AC. Thank you. Curtis Schindler says, "Great movie." Yes, it is one of my favorite Robin Williams movies, actually. Hook. Rufio. See, living in Texas, I think the heat just kind of sounds like a standard Monday. I mean, it's all relative, right? When I see people in California when it's 60 degrees out freaking out because it's so cold, I'm like, what? It's just not normal at all here. It's 110 degrees. It has only been over 100 degrees in Seattle like twice, maybe 3 times now since they've started keeping track of, you know, temperature and records. So it's kind of a big deal around here. Bangarang, yep. Is this why food tastes better when I close my eyes? Yes, imagination. John says, "So I'm going to add a new 55-gallon, 24 rummy nose, 24 cardinal tetras, and maybe 12 cherry barbs with maybe 20 bronze corridors and 3 or 4 bristlenose to breed. Will I all work together?" Yes, all those fish can definitely live in harmony. However, that's a lot of fish. So just prepare to watch your nitrates and water and do your water changes for sure. If it's planted, that'll help out a lot, but definitely keep an eye on it. especially because the bristlenose, they're going to start breeding. Plecos in general, or I'll say catfish in general, create a lot of waste, but definitely plecos. So you got cories and plecos in there. So just keep an eye on it. That's hotter than it is in Texas. Yeah, I'm telling you. It's just not normal. I'm very lucky in that none of my aquariums get super hot in these heat waves. I mean, they get into like the low 80s, but that's nothing. These fish can handle that just fine for a couple days. So I'm very fortunate, but not a lot of people aren't. So that's why I want to talk about, because everyone's just all over Facebook and social media asking how to keep their aquariums cold. How do you cool it down? So if you have your own techniques in chat, be sure to leave a comment there. Let us know what you do. Most of it's pretty basic, pretty easy. Obviously, the first thing you should do is not turn your aquarium lights off. Even if you have plants, it doesn't matter. They'll be just fine. If you're going through a heat spell like we are, it rarely lasts over a week, and your plants will do just fine with ambient lighting for a week. Not a big deal. But LED lights get hot. Fluorescent lights get hot enough to make a difference. And so you definitely should not be turning your lights on. The other thing you could do is just get a small little fan. And take your tops off first. You're going to have evaporation, but you know what? It's going to keep your tank cooler. So take your lids off. Unless you have like hatchet fish or bloodfin tetras, things that are just going to jump out right away. And then just aim a fan to the surface of the water, and it will help. It will help. I know people are like, I don't see how blowing hot air on top of a fish tank is going to help, but it will lower it by a few degrees. It just does. The other thing you can do is take water bottles and freeze water and then float them in your tank. Another pretty easy thing to do. You'll have to keep up on it, so don't just use like one water jug and then freeze it and put it in there, take it out, freeze it. Like you want a rotation going there, so get a couple of them. Hit 105 in Denver, 72 today, which is just so nice. Whew. It's going to be 80 in California. The heat won't cook them. It's the lack of oxygen combined with the high temp that suffocates fish. Yes, that's an excellent point, Brian, and definitely worth bringing up. When your tanks heat up like this, you lose oxygen. Your oxygen levels go way down. So if you don't have a sponge filter or any type of aeration, you definitely need to get an air stone in there and make sure that they're not going to essentially suffocate. Finally turned my low boy into a patio pond with aquatic and terrestrial plants and woke up to some Endler fry there this morning. That's pretty cool. However, since we're talking about heat, I will say, I don't know where you are, but like a low boy outside my house right now would be boiling. That 10 inches of water minus however many inches of substrate, so 8 inches of water, heats up fast. So just be aware of that. Take my top off, Bob? What? Zen? Whoa, take my top off? What is going on in chat? Bob, if you have a canister filter, you can run your return or supply line through a cooler filled with ice or water. Oh, I've never heard of that one. I'm definitely not a fan of canister filters, but that would be a good one as well. And obviously water changes, depending on what it comes out at the tap. Again, I'm very fortunate that our water comes out pretty cool, even in these heat waves. So we got a lot of glacier runoff here, and it helps. And don't really have to worry about hot water coming out of our tap. So that's the easiest thing I can do. I've been changing the water in my outdoor tubs daily. Just to keep it down. I mean, it gets up into the mid 80s, and if I don't do a water change, so I do just run the hose in there for about 15 minutes, and it cools it down. Audrey with the $2 super chat. Thank you. Would shade on an outdoor pond help or no? Yes, absolutely. So I have a pond set up off-site that I went and visited, and ended up boarding them up. So I have 8x. They're the same tubs the Corey uses, and I just put like full sheets of OSB to shade all around it, and it stopped it from heating up almost immediately. So they were about 88 degrees, and I was like, I definitely have to do something about it. So I did a water change, boarded them up like that, and the last 2 days it hasn't been above 82 at all. So shade helps a lot, definitely. Farm Fish and Freedom says, hey Bob, is there a reason why Wholesaler would be super low on stock? Stock has been super low since Corona, so it hasn't been fully restored yet. There's a lot of countries going through a lot of crap right now. Like Colombia is like on the verge of civil war, so a lot of exports have stopped there when it comes to fish. It's gotten better the last like month or so, but there was a good couple months where, you know, fish coming out of Colombia just wasn't happening. You know, shipping is insanely expensive right now, super expensive. So that could be another way. One of my wholesalers used to have this massive saltwater selection, and they're like, we just can't afford to bring in saltwater stuff anymore. Like, so now they only do what they can, you know, aquaculture. I don't know if that's what it's called, but in Florida. So that's it. They can't afford to import any saltwater stuff anymore because the prices are just going crazy. And that's pretty much it. Like shipping prices, and still just recovering from being shut down for so long. Throwing shade on the heat. Yeah, buddy. You know it, Jamie. Kevin, what's up? Hey, Bob. I stopped in to hit the like. Going out in a few. Thanks, Dragon Lair. And don't forget, everyone else, hit the like. I really do appreciate it. It's all I ask for. I don't even ask that you subscribe. It is nice if you subscribe, but I really just ask for you to hit the like button. On call, going to a job. I have no fear, though. I'm sitting at a red light just listening while I drive. Okay, no fear. I don't know what your job is, but I guess that's good. So yes, Amanda Jean, definitely shade your outdoor tubs. Especially because most of them are black. So they're really just going to attract that sunlight and just... on my 100-gallon Rubbermaid totes... the water was in the 80s, but the tote itself was almost 150 degrees. So, yeah, it's pretty brutal. Why would you recommend Extreme Nano Pellets or Extreme Betta Pellets for my new Betta? I'd rather buy the Extreme Nano Pellets if possible because I can feed it among my tanks. So, yeah, you can... Extreme Nano Pellets is by far and away my favorite food right now. Like, by far. So I would highly recommend that, but... don't think just because it says Extreme Betta Pellets that you can't feed it to other fish. Normally, now, I do happen to know in Extreme scenario that the formula is a little bit different. But most of the time, if it says Betta, that's just branding. So that's all it is. Betta food you can feed to all your fish. Well, unless, you know, there's definitely exceptions. But for the most part. Jamie McDonald with the $5 super chat. The director of the channel, by the way, says, "Am I still the longest member?" I don't think that's ever gonna change. I don't know how anyone could catch up to you. I mean, you were the first, so technically not the first, but I think you were like the second or the third, and the first and second have since dropped out. So you are still the running longest time member. Corey reports the container rental went from thousands up to tens of thousands. So I was reading an article. I don't know what paper I was reading, but it was going over the cost of shipping, and it said, like, I don't remember if it was like a 20 or 30 or 40. I don't remember the size of the container. It doesn't really matter. But like 2 years or even like a year ago, it was $1,500 to bring in a container from China to the US, and now it's $15,000 for that same container. So yeah, things are gonna get pretty crazy. Yeah, just be aware. I'm not telling you all to run out and buy gobs of toilet paper, but it might get a little dicey towards the end of the year, just saying. How many frittata rainbows can I put in a 10-gallon tall tank? I think you mean frittata. And honestly, Timothy Darling, thank you for the $5 super chat. But I would say a 10-gallon tall is not. If you mean frittata, it's not going to be good for a frittata rainbow. They need length. Tall tanks really do nothing for rainbow fish. What is your view on injecting with overprim to make fish breed? I have a 200-gallon tub in my basement and want to breed yo-yo loaches. My view is I have no interest in doing that myself. If someone else wants to do it, you know, that's on them. I would never do it, though. I wouldn't do it. Bob, your streams always make Mondays better. Thanks, man. Well, thank you, Kevin. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. Thank you for saying that. And Timothy, again, thank you for the $5 super chat. For Kata rainbows, they do get like 3 inches. They move really fast. If you put them in a 10-gallon tall, they're just gonna run in. If they get spooked, they're just gonna dart right into sides nonstop, and they're gonna end up hurting themselves. And like I said, rainbow fish, they need long tanks, not tall. Chevy Fish. Hello, Chevy Fish. I currently have about 3 days before I leave for a month, and a few days ago I had a great case of old tank syndrome. Alkaline buffer is really saving my butt. Yeah, we talked about this about 3 months ago, I think. Old tank syndrome and the whole deal and how I would fix that. But yeah, alkaline buffer. Very good. Oh man. Whew. I think that's all I got. Oh, actually, one other thing I want to talk about is because I've seen this come up multiple times in social media. It probably doesn't apply to anyone here, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I always see, like, how do I keep my tanks, even in reptile groups, how do I keep my reptiles cool in these heat waves? I'm not allowed to have an AC unit in my window. And folks, right behind me, right there, behind me there, I'll get it right eventually, right there. Floor standing AC units are perfectly acceptable. And I've never seen an HOA that doesn't allow floor standing units, or apartments that don't allow floor standing. The ones that actually get mounted in the window, it's specifically the ones that get mounted in the window that you're usually not allowed to have in rentals. So if there's even like one person watching that is questioning that, get the portable ones. They're way better than the window units anyways, in my opinion. What's a good staple food for Medeca rice fish? Well, if you want something easy like extreme krill flake food, I keep mine in an outdoor pond so they get like mosquito larvae and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, if you just want something simple like a flake food, extreme. I personally, like I said earlier, like the nano pellets, because half of them like sink and half of them float, and I really like that. Like, that's my favorite thing about that food. Besides the ingredients, obviously, I think the ingredients are some of the best when it comes to commercially prepared food. Outside of that, I like that it's like a 50-50 float sink mix. Snail Team 6, also an excellent point. If you have really old wiring, then yeah, you may be SOL on AC. Because they're ugly. Yeah, I'm not a fan of window units. Unless you're saying my stand-up unit right here is ugly. That's fine too, but the window units are, yeah, they're not the best looking. Joe says, I literally compared Extreme Nano and Extreme Beta pellets. And I have to be honest, I think I'll buy some co-op fry food for my cribs, some Extreme Beta for my betta, and I'll feed both fish, both foods. There you go. There you go. That's honestly the best way to do it. Like, do the research. That's excellent. I love Extreme 2 bug bites. I like as well. I don't like the inconsistency of bug bites. That's the only thing that bugs me. I hate when I get bug bites and sometimes they're like really soft and then other times they're really hard, which makes me think that they're stale. They've been sitting out. Yeah. I don't trust it. But otherwise, yeah, bug bites. I mean, I do feed bug bites, so I can't knock them too much. One of the things Fluval does right most of the time. Window units are ugly, but they tend to be far more effective and efficient, which sadly sucks if you're renting. Really, I guess to be fair, the only experience I have with window AC units are like hotels, So they're probably already like run down pieces of crap, but I've never had those window units like do anything close to my floor standing unit. Ruben says, I think I'm going to get a pea puffer for my 5-gallon instead of a clown killie shrimp combo. I've been researching them for over a year. So excited to get back so I can start setting it up. That's a good option. Pea puffers are one of those things like you need one or a lot. Alex, another point. The size of the bug bites granules varies a bunch from can to can. That's true as well. And honestly, that doesn't really bother me. Because I usually grind it up anyways, so yeah. But I could see how that could be frustrating. I wish bug bites weren't pretty much like grape nuts. See, that's what I'm saying. Has Fluval regained their balance yet? Not that I'm aware of. I don't know that they ever will, but you know, they make enough money that I don't even think they care. Howdy Fish Tank Barn, I agree with you. The co-op fry food is the best to raise fry, in my opinion, with the exception of BBS. I think if you take into account like just ease of use as well, if you throw that category in there, then the co-op fry food probably wins. It's just easy. Grape nuts, now I'm hungry. Let's not go down that road. I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. So, and hopefully, we don't keep talking about food. But I have a food story that I'm going to talk about real quick. So the last couple months now, I've been on this health kick and eating healthy and being more active, things like that. And I think it was Friday or Saturday. I was like, screw it, I'm going to make a pizza. Like, I love making my own pizza. And I was like, you know what? It's been a long time since I've had a pizza. I'm going to make my own pizza. So I went to the store, I bought all the ingredients, I made it all, and then as I was taking it out of the oven, I dropped it all over the floor. And I'm like, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. So yeah, that's my story. Someone out in the universe was looking out for me for not eating junk food. So, oh man, I just looked at it and I was like, yep, that figures. Dogs, here's your dinner. Bob, your screen is off tonight. Yes, because it is 9 billion degrees, and I do not want to turn all my studio lights on. So I shrunk this whole thing up so you can at least see the fish tank behind me. It's the best I could do. Airsoft GI with a $5 super chat says, what do you think of mixing species of fish in summer tub? I have Emerald Iris boras, Buenos Aires tetras, Rainbow Shiner, CPD, all in a 75-gallon tub. I don't view it any different than an aquarium. I think a lot of people do tubs for breeding because it's really easy to stick a tub outside and they just breed magically, right? You get all the bugs and everything in there. But mixing them would be no different than an aquarium. So if your rasboras or, Emerald Eye rasboras, Buenos Aires, yeah, if any of those drop, eggs are going to get eaten, just like they would in your aquarium. I have no problem with that. One of my tubs has Plades and Buenos Aires tetras in it. So I'm not going to get a lot of fry, but that's the way it is. I was desperate and I needed something for mosquito larvae because I didn't want 1 billion mosquitoes running around. And so I just got whatever I could and threw them in there. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. Like I said, it's just an aquarium that's outside in a plastic container. And thanks for the super chat. Oh, and another one. Or should I do single species tub if I want them to breed? Oh, well, there you go. You definitely want species only if you want them to breed. Now, I'm not saying that they won't breed. It really depends on, what kind of breeding you want. Because, all my fish breed in community aquariums. I see fry quite a bit, but like my rainbow fish, when they breed in my community aquarium, I might get 2 or 3 that survive. Where if they were in like a species only tub and it's set up for them to breed, I would get hundreds of fry. So it's really up to you. But if your goal is to breed, then definitely I would do species only, and you're still going to have to prevent them from eating their eggs as well. So whether it's moss or egg, the screen where the eggs can fall through and the adults can't get to them. Ice cream pie, like a cake but shorter. Nah. Not sure says I would have been bummed about the pizza. Honestly, I just laughed. It's just like I couldn't even believe it. How long does aquarium co-op fry food? Wait, how does the aquarium co-op fry food compare to the size of the Kari first bites? Guessing similar, but haven't used co-op's fry food. I think it's more variable, so it's not like all one size, but it's all like a fine powder, various sizes. At least the last time I used it, I would say it's probably smaller than First Bites, because I haven't used First Bites in like 5 years at least. As soon as they came out with the fry food, like I switched to that over First Bites. So maybe someone in chat that uses both or has used, you know, First Bites a little sooner than 5 years can chime in. But I'm pretty sure that the fry food is smaller. Co-op fry food. Spinning round, Seattle Local says, I bought a shelf liner at the dollar store and poked a few holes in it with a screwdriver for a temporary lid to increase evaporation cooling to keep my aquarium cool. It has helped. There you go. A temporary lid to increase evaporation. Yep. Susan, hello Susan. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the like button. Matt, my baby angels even used co-op food from day one, and it was mostly as small as First Bites, but some bigger too. Okay, so it's like I said, it's variable. Little late, but I made it. Nice hat. Thank you, Michael Faulkner. Thank you. It's my Bigfoot hat. I got this at I got this on this island that we went to, like this gift store that had all this Bigfoot stuff, and I was like, oh, a Bigfoot hat? Yeah, I'm gonna buy that for sure. Joel says, I honestly think Extreme and Aquarium Co-op rules them all. Anyone can agree. I think Co-op definitely is doing a lot of innovation for the hobby, and that's just gonna keep coming, keep getting better. The co-op test strips were really a lifesaver for old tank syndrome as well, because now I can vigorously check pH and buffer. Yep, I finally got some too. I got the new light too. Don't know if I was supposed to say that, but I feel like people know about it because people asked me if I had one like a month ago. So, ever had a Herman's tortoise? No, but I would absolutely keep a Herman's tortoise if I could provide like a large enough enclosure for it. I would also do like a redfoot tortoise. Bigfoot hat. You sure it's not a big head hat? Well, it's a Bigfoot hat for big heads. Huh? How about that? Oh man, yes, co-op fry food is smaller. There you go. So I think the general consensus is that it's the same or smaller or larger, you know. You got to wear that hat for the next camping video. I did wear it in one of my camping videos. I don't remember which one, and I just kicked my camera, so I apologize. Herman Munster. I have Cutopunctatus fry. They eat small bites and live baby brine. They work on the co-op fry food. The size of the co-op fry food varies in the bottle, which actually is awesome. Yeah, I agree. Bigfoot store. Try to remember the name of the island, Bob. My son would love to. Well, it wasn't like specifically a Bigfoot store, but it was like one of those stores that, you know, you get off at a ferry and there's like all the gift shops and stuff, and like half of it was just random Bigfoot items. I don't remember exactly what island it is, but I think it was Lopez Island. I don't know. I'd have to ask Jimmy. I'm sure he remembers. He's the one that found it. Do you have a lot of toads in Washington? No. There's maybe like, I'm sure I'm going to be way wrong, but I can only think of like maybe 3 species. I'm sure I'm way wrong, but there's only a very few that I run into while hiking. Just a couple different species. Bob, any plans to keep musks again? I saw that Saul adopted them from you, and they were adorable. I personally have a res. I would love to eventually. They were really cool, a really fun turtle to keep. And I could see myself keeping them again, for sure. I am so glad that they went to the Turtle Girl, though. I love getting updates on them. And I know she's going to take really good care of them. I think the guy that played Herman Munster was a shaved Bigfoot. Just a theory. Well, he did have his... I mean, there was Bigfoot in Harry and the Hendersons. So, I mean, Bigfoot must be real. He was in a TV show. Come on, people. DJ Fat Tony. DJ Pretty Hot and Tempting Tony. What's up, Bob? Can clown killifish and a Pisto's cockatoo live in a 75-gallon community tank? Thank you in advance. I would think that would work. You would need to be careful. Eventually, cockatoides are going to get large enough to easily eat a clown killifish, but I feel like if a clown killie lets an apisto eat it, then it's kind of its own fault. Clown killies are really fast. However, at night, they can kind of drift towards the bottom of the tank, so keep that in mind. But generally, I think you'd be doing just fine. 2 years, 7 months, and 15 days is how long I've been a member. It's probably the best money I have spent every month. Have you become a member yet? Well, thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that means a lot to me. Thank you. Tidal or AquaClear, which would you choose? So I would have to choose... So I've never used a Tidal. I have used an AquaClear. And with that said, I would probably use the Tidal. I feel like I'm definitely in the minority about not liking AquaClear hang-on backs. I just don't like them at all. I feel like the lid never fits on right. I feel like you always have to prime it. Just I don't know. They're noisy, and I get it. You have to maintain. You have to do maintenance. But out of all the brands I've had, I've always had the most like. And it's not that they don't work. They're just annoying. Like the most annoyances out of AquaClears. What's a ute? What's a ute? Oh, I'm sorry. The two juveniles. Went fishing last weekend and almost caught the gigantic snapping turtle, but couldn't because it was too big for my net, and my net is pretty darn big. Probably best to leave that in the water. I have a Tidal on all my tanks if they have a hang-on bag. Well, there you go. I'd like to try one someday just because people ask me about it a lot. And it's probably one of the only brands I haven't tried. You missed a super chat earlier. Thanks for the super chat. Uh-oh. Ooh, and I do not have tracking turned on either. Timothy Darling with the $5 super chat. No, I answered that one. How many frittata rainbows in a 10-gallon? If that's the one, I did get that one. I don't know if there's a second one. But good looking out, Chevy Fish. I appreciate it. I missed. Oh, Chevy Fish says she missed a super chat. Oh, okay, not me. All right. Would you do a turtle tank with fish? And if so, would barbs and rainbows be fast enough to escape a slower swimming musk? Wild idea. No, because the turtles will prey on them at night when they're sleeping. So that during the day, probably not an issue. At night, they could definitely get picked off. If I was to do, it's going to sound terrible, but if I was to do fish with turtles, I would do inexpensive fish. I would do like bloodfin tetras that are just super fast, a really good schooling tetra. And if they turn into turtle food, you know, they were only like $2. So sounds terrible, but that's what I would do. And there's lots of people that are going to chime in and be like, I keep fish with my turtles, no problem. So yeah, there are chances that it would work out. I just don't know that I would risk like a $15 or $20 rainbow fish to go in with turtles. I don't know what that means, but okay. Sean, I have no idea what that means. Even the Tetra Whisper is a decent hang on back, even though it gets some hate. Yeah, I like anything that's self-priming. That's why Aquarium is my favorite. Tetra is self-priming as well. But they do get, if I'm going to compare the Aquarium versus the Tetra, I will say the Tetras do get a little noisier over time. Aquarium is my favorite brand. And but it's still a hang-on back filter, so it's still gonna eventually make noise or fail or something. That's just what hang-on backs do. Keegan, what's up, buddy? Says not a question. Just wanted to let you know, Mini Bob is thriving awesome, happily hunting guppies, shrimps, and clams in the brush of Amazon swords, octopus plants, and anubias. That's awesome. So, Mini Bob is a Shodontai, a Congo spotted puffer, for anyone who didn't know. What exactly is a grit? I still don't know what a grit is. I have no idea what grit is. Even after watching that movie and they say what it is, I still don't know what it is. I'm not in the house right now, so trying to join using a stupid iPad and find join button. Wait. Oh, you don't want to join on an Apple. If you have an Apple, they're going to charge you an extra $1. I mean, if you want to, I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but I don't know. I would find any way possible to get on a Windows computer or an Android and join, just so you don't get charged that extra $1. Hey, Bob, any tips for breeding Bolivian rams, temperature, food, tank-wise, school size? So, William, I've never had an issue breeding Bolivian rams. I've kept them at like 76, 78 degrees, lots of different types of food, and they've always eventually paired off and spawned. Now, they do have to be, mature enough. So if you're having issues, I mean, I don't know what size they are or how old they are, but you might just have to wait a little bit longer. But they're generally a really easy fish to get to spawn. And then it's up to you on if you want to try to remove the eggs or let them, parent the eggs and raise the fry themselves. It could take a couple spawns before they figure it out. But eventually they will figure out how to keep their fry alive and, realize, hey, we're not supposed to eat these fry. They're our babies. Topfin has an awesome internal filter with a spray arm. I use it on mini tanks. It's a trooper. I think that's just like that generic, like that one internal with the spray arm, and that just gets rebranded out. I think that's what you're talking about. I could be wrong, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty good actually. I like the little spray bar. It's pretty helpful. If you could have a dwarf version of a fish, what would it be? I feel like a dwarf sturgeon would be pretty awesome. I love the way sturgeons look. So if I could get a sturgeon that stayed around 6 inches instead of like 60 feet, I think that would be pretty awesome. It's something that takes at least 25 minutes to cook. Look at the grits. You're telling me that you have a magical oven that can cook grits faster than anyone else? William says, I'm setting up a 30-gallon, was planning on using 4 to 5, and letting them do it naturally. Oh, okay, I see. 30-gallon, 4 to 5. 30-gallon might be a little small for 4 to 5. And letting them do it naturally. Are ditherfish, plecos going to ruin it, mess with the spawns? Any catfish probably will. If anything, it's definitely going to stress them out to have any type of bottom dwellers, because they're they just spawn wherever. They're not cave spawners. They just, if there's like a flat piece of rock, that's where they're going to put the eggs. And eventually, catfish will find those eggs and pick them off slowly over time. So I probably wouldn't do any catfish. Ditherfish would be fine. Ditherfish will help them feel more secure. I think the problem with the 30-gallon, if it's just the standard, like 30-gallon, 29-gallon tank, if you have 2 of them pair off, that might not be enough room, and you might have some territory issues. So that's just one thing I would watch out for. The laws of physics don't apply in your kitchen? Have you tried to cook any eggs outside? Got to take advantage of the heat while you can. Oh, I probably could have put like a cast iron. It's still coming in at 109 degrees, so I could probably cook some eggs outside. That would be funny. It's like so hot. I haven't really been eating because it's like, I've been cooking my own food lately, and turning the oven on is just miserable. Like, it's already so hot, and then you want me to turn the oven on, or, just not going to happen. Stovetop, anything, not going to happen. Nice choice, Bob. Zen Ginger, I like your style. Elizabeth from the Florida Fish Rescue. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. Regina Phalanges. Gosh, the name makes me laugh every time. I got an order of 20 yellowfin white clouds for my outdoor tub. They are so pretty. I haven't put them in my tub yet because I'll never see them with all the plants. Yeah, the yellowfin white clouds are really cool looking fish. Yeah, I would love to get some eventually. Maybe next year summer tubbing I can do those. Which of the three dwarf cory species? So there's more than 3, but I know that of the 3 common ones, probably the pygmaeus, the habrosus are pretty easy. So I would say, honestly, I would probably say habrosus, then pygmaeus, and then the hastatus. That would be my order. My body is converting the heat straight to energy. I hear you, Bob. I'm literally sitting in a cold bath right now. Yeah. I cooked some beef stir fry on the Blackstone outside today. I could probably like just put the cast iron skillet outside and let it sit there for a little bit. I baked cookies in my car with my nieces. I was about to cook a pork tenderloin and said, F that, it's too hot for the oven. Yep. Ooh, sandwich. I go for some sandwiches right now. Brian Glenn with the $5 super chat says, thank you, Bob. Stay chill. Keep hydrated. I think you've stopped to take 0 drinks of water if I'm being creepy enough and paying attention. Are you paying attention? Because I've been drinking lots of water here. And like I said, this is going to be a short stream. So we're only going to go for an hour tonight. So you got 18 minutes to get your questions in. 18 minutes. They were soft cookies, but it worked. I only like soft. Like, I'm not a cookie person at all. But if you hand me, like, a soft... I mean, just chocolate chip, I guess. Just a nice, soft, warm chocolate chip cookie. I'll eat that. For sure. But if you hand me, like, this hard, crusty chocolate chip cookie, I'm going to be like, no thanks, I don't eat sweets. Oh, man. Barbara Jackson, buy a used 55 and get a glass cutter. So I've been thinking about this. I think it was Zen Ginger that told me to cut up my glass. The 10-gallon panes are too small, so I don't think I'm going to cut up my 10 gallons. The 75-gallon panes are too thick. I feel like it's wasted. But I'm definitely going to cut up my 55-gallon tanks. For sure. For sure. Northwest Fish Keeping says, hey Bob, super glad today is the last day of the heat wave, I think. Unfortunately, my least killifish fry didn't make it, but from what I can see, the adults plus fresh fish plus cories have made it so far. That's good. Yep, last day of the heat wave. I think it's only going to be about 90 tomorrow, thankfully. I've been wanting to go to the beach so bad, but it's too hot to take my dogs, and it's too hot to leave my dogs home alone. So we've just been riding it out. I actually have my camping cot right behind me. We just closed the door and let the AC run and been sleeping in here because it's the only way I can get some sleep is in here with the AC. I do not have central air, obviously. I mean, you see it right there. Chocolate chip cookies fresh from the oven. Yum. Red Robin. Yum. Number 1 tip for pleco breeding. Thanks for all your tips and education. Fish Ranch, it's very much dependent on which pleco. Like a bristlenose pleco versus a zebra pleco is going to be way different as far as tips. But I guess my number 1 tip would be lots of food. Lots of food and lots of water changes. Obviously, if you're feeding plecos a lot, they're going to poop a lot. So the two kind of go hand in hand. Lots of food, fatten them up, and lots of water changes. How many rams would you recommend for a 30-gallon, 24 inches long, 18 inches tall, 16 inches wide? I plan on putting 10-inch ember tetras. Honestly, if you have a way to buy 6 of them, like 5 or 6, and wait for 2 of them to pair off, if you have a way to like rehome the other ones or take them back to the fish store where you got them, that's the best way. I mean, that's how I do all of my dwarf cichlids. Apistos, rams, it doesn't matter. I always buy them in 6s, wait for them to pair off, and then I get rid of the other ones. And it's just easier that way. How many neon dwarf rainbows in a 55? I was thinking 12. Oh, you could easily do 12. You could do 24 if you wanted to. I would say that's more of like probably the top end, the extreme, but yeah, like 12, 18 really works out well. We have central air and it's still 78 inside. Yeah, even with this thing running on full blast, like nonstop, it's still about 85 in here. So yeah, it's not the greatest. I haven't been falling asleep till like 3 in the morning. Just takes that long just for it to cool down. I have corridors that once in a while will roll onto its side into the substrate in a rapid motion repeatedly near feeding time. Something to be concerned about or just a strange quirk. So it's called flashing, and that's what you want to look up if you want to research it. You can just Google like my fish are flashing or corridors flashing. It's usually a sign of like an external parasite. However, external parasites on cories, in my experience, is a bit more rare than just your common fish. So it may just be weird behavior. If it's only happening when you feed it, maybe they're just quirky. But I would really watch them, and if they're flashing, so basically, I better put my lid on before I spill this everywhere. If it's just like swimming along, and goes, and like just swoops down and does that, that's what they call flashing. So, like I said, it's usually an external parasite, and they do that because they can feel it on their scales, and so they're just like, it's like trying to get an itch that you can't get to because the idiots don't have thumbs. Stupid fish. Anyways, but yeah, something to definitely keep your eye out. Look for any types of external or signs of external parasites on other fish. But yeah, usually, like I said, in my experience, it's a little less common for cories to get external parasites because of their scoots. Their scoots instead of scales, scoots. So I'm going with a group of albino. Oh man, okay. Anyways, so I read your comment. So like I'm going with a group of albino. Like you have a group of albino people that you're going somewhere with. But anyways, so I'm going with a group of albino paradise gourami, and I'm thinking of adding white clouds. Any other fish I could add that won't take away from the beauty of the gourami? I would say like corridoras, or maybe plecos. Anything that's going to be in like the bottom half of the aquarium, like on the substrate. Loaches, things like that would be good. So just something down on the substrate is what I would go for. It's so hot that I've been putting frozen water bottles in my tank to get it back down to 78 or 80. Yep. Yeah. That's probably one of the most effective ways, in my opinion. Now, obviously, one thing I didn't talk about earlier when we were talking about how to keep your aquarium cool was a chiller. I think, I mean, they're really expensive, so that's why I didn't even bring it up. But there are companies that make aquarium chillers, but they're fairly expensive, and they also cost a lot to run. Well, it's all relative, but compared to like a hang-on back filter, they take way more energy. How interactive, personable do you think pea puffers are on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being coolie loaches, which are goofy but don't notice you, and 10 being Murphy. I would say they're probably like a 5. Probably like a 5. Nothing like a Murphy, but nothing like a coolie loach. Anyone here know if dwarf crayfish need to go to the surface? That's all they seem to want to do. They don't need to go to the surface. If you're talking about like the dwarf Mexican crayfish, I've never seen them go to the surface. If they're going to the surface, you may just want to test your water, make sure they're not trying to get out of like an ammonia spike or a nitrate spike. But normally I don't think that's normal behavior. I've only kept them once. They're illegal here, so I don't have a lot of experience with them, but mine never went to the surface. In your opinion, what's easier to breed, Apistogramma cockatoides or Bolivian rams? Apistogramma cockatoides are easier, definitely. The world has turned upside down 75 degrees in South Texas, while 100 plus in the Pacific Northwest. The poles are shifting. The north on your compass doesn't go all the way north anymore. It's just kind of off to the side, I'm telling you. Bob, what about wrapping your tank in wet towels plus a fan to cool a tank? Do you mean like wrapping your tank in wet towels and then aiming the fan at like the side of the tank that the towel's on, or wrapping it in wet towels and then still using a fan at the surface? I don't think it would hurt. I don't think it would hurt anything. I think you're always going to be better off pointing the fan at the surface. But again, I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but hopefully that answers something. Sorry, just got to the stream at Steenfott Aquatics. How are your fish handling the heat over there in Washington? I'm extremely fortunate to live in a split level, so all my fish tanks are on the bottom, which is dug into the ground, very well insulated from the heat and the cold, so I'm very lucky in that I don't really have to worry about my fish in these heat waves. There were a couple tanks that got like 83, 84 today, but nothing. The only thing I had to worry about is the tubs outside. I do have to do water changes out there because one of them is in like direct sunlight for like 10 hours. So $200 for a 6-year-old chiller on my local Facebook marketplace. Yeah. I've never used them. I just look at the price and I'm just like, $200? Like my AC unit here was $200. I'd rather have that and chill my whole house than just chill an aquarium. I just realized how crazy the Gila monster or shingleback skink's skull looks. All the bumps that look like scales are actually bones. Bones. Steenfott Aquatics, this has got to be one of the few times in recorded history the Pacific Northwest is 26 degrees hotter than the Southeast. Yeah, I think it's only the third time. I think they've been keeping track since like the early 1900s, and this is the third time it's been over 100 degrees. I might be wrong. It might be the fourth, but it's either the third or fourth time that we've hit triple digits. And then we're way past triple digits. Good to know you're doing okay. Yeah, if you're talking to me, doing okay. Let's see one of the. Yep. Wait, dwarf Mexican crayfish are illegal here? I have one purchased from LFS supplied by a local wholesaler. In Washington State, crayfish are illegal. Petco and PetSmart somehow get around it by calling like the neon lobster. They call them lobsters. So they get around that, but the Mexican dwarf crayfish is definitely illegal. But it doesn't stop anyone. Like I can order them from one of my wholesalers in Florida, and I'll just put them on the order, and they'll ship them to me. The onus is on me. It's in all of like the paperwork. It's like you have to do your research and make sure that what you're buying is legal in your state. Now, if they know, like if they just know, then they're not going to ship it to me. But like they're not going to just ship me Asian arowanas or snakeheads because they know those are illegal everywhere. But still, well, not snakeheads, but you know what I mean. But yeah, like if you get some new guy packing orders, they'll bag them and pack them and send them right to you. Kaylin says, can't wait till later this week when it gets back down to the 80s. Yep. That's when I'm going to go to the beach. Probably Friday. Is looking like a good day. I'm going to have a terrible day on Wednesday. Let me tell you. I finally decided to actually get my motorcycle endorsement, even though I've been riding for like 30 years. And I've got to go and like, you do like 3 hours in a classroom and then you do 5 hours out riding, and they make you like wear all your protective gear, and it's going to be miserable. Like it's going to be so hot. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to it. Conspiracy theory, Bob was just planning the polar bear thing so he could go swimming in chilled water during the heat wave. Boy, that would have been nice, huh? I have 2 pitchers of water in the fridge. I waited till the water reached high 60s, then exchanged a pitcher's worth of water in my 10-gallon, lowered the temp from 87 to 83. That's actually a really good idea for smaller tanks like that, like 10-gallon, 20-gallon tanks. Yeah, I bet that works pretty well. It's an orange dwarf Mexican. Yeah, so the dwarf Mexican crayfish, they're always orange. Also a red clawed yabby. The red clawed yabby, I have no idea what that is. but it's probably illegal. But honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest. If I wasn't on YouTube, I would probably still have my Mexican orange dwarf crayfish. I mean, just being honest with you, the only reason I got rid of them is because I didn't want to accidentally show them on a video one time, like in a reflection of a tank, and then get turned in and go to jail over some crayfish. So, but you know, if I wasn't on YouTube, I would keep them. Like, who cares? Legalize arowana. Absolutely. I agree. It's ridiculous. They're not, you know, they're all captive bred now. It shouldn't matter. Like, no captive bred fish should be illegal when they're illegal because they're endangered, in my opinion. Like, if you want to make them illegal because they're invasive, fine. But if someone is breeding captive bred animals that are endangered in the wild, it shouldn't matter. Like, so many of our fish are endangered in the wild, yet they're not illegal. So I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, they would never live outdoors here in Washington State. They should be legal here. Okay, maybe illegal in Florida because they would actually live there. I mean, that kind of makes sense. I don't agree with it, but it kind of makes sense. But here, come on. Good thing you're in the habit of drinking lots of water, because that sounds like a dehydration nightmare. Speaking of water, I'm going to have some more. Oh, it's still cold, too. I love this thing. I did that tube bomb to get my motorcycle license. Sprained my ankle in class, still passed. That's hardcore right there. Dang. Yeah. Oh, it's such a big scam. But anyways, will the Mexican crayfish even live over in Washington winters? Yeah, there's a lot of crayfish that we have a few different species of crayfish, and I bet they would overwinter. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. There's definitely some winters where they would probably overwinter just fine. And then, you know, you get that winter like every 4 or 5 years where it actually snows and gets cold. Maybe not then, but I bet they would. Keep Florida wild. There may be a few Mexican orange crayfish available at the local chain store. So if you want to just snatch one up. Well, I did kind of impulse buy a Thai devil crab at Petco, and that thing has been super awesome. But no, like, trust me, I really would love to keep the Mexican dwarf crayfish, but it's just not worth the risk. Like, you know, I could piss off some other YouTuber and they could just call Fish and Wildlife, or I could just piss off, you know, a subscriber or lurker or whatever. It's just not worth it. My LFS said they can get dwarf Mexicans in blue. I wonder if it's the same species. But I don't know. I've only ever seen them in orange or just like a drab kind of brownish gray color. Does anyone listen to lo-fi study music when they study? I don't even know what that is, so I'm going to say no. I listen to Slayer. Bob looks like Bill Murray in Caddyshack. Well, thank you, Brian. I really appreciate that. You know, one time, speaking of golf, I was never mind. We won't start the Caddyshack jokes, but that is a top 5 all-time comedy in my book. It's the same species. All right. Well, I stand corrected. So all crayfish or lobster are illegal in Washington. Why? Because they can be invasive. I really wish I could have the marbled crayfish. If you have puffers and you're not keeping marbled crayfish, boy, I don't know what to tell you. Well, as far as like large puffers, like the fajaka or the mabu, I mean, just unlimited free food, self-cloning crayfish, forget about it. If you have a mabu or fajaka and those are legal, you should absolutely have them. Do I play disc golf? No, I've never played it. It sounds fun, but I've never played it. Would I? Sure. Me too. Caddyshack is a great movie. Yeah, top 5. Easily top 5. Easily. And what's crazy is that's Rodney Dangerfield's first movie he ever did was Caddyshack. And, which is just crazy to me because he was pretty old in that movie already. What if you're going to eat them? I don't know. Crayfish? No, you still can't. Nobody tell Bob it's been an hour already. Yep, I actually just looked at the clock and it's actually like it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So we'll go a little bit longer. Like it's way different. I'm used to having like just lights just blasting in my face, and so yeah, it's not that bad. We might make it. We might make it. I mean, all the dogs are asleep, so don't get too loud. Do you get a bowl of soup with that hat? Oh my gosh. Oh man. Steenfott Aquatics, have you ever used eco style tank? Eco style tank? I don't know what you're referring to, so I'm gonna say no. Chevy Fish says, hi all lurkers and anyone I missed. Anyone I missed. My LFS has some blue crayfish, and I'm not sure if they're Mexican or not. Well, they should be dwarf. I'm specifically talking about dwarf. I know they're like the blue and the orange, like non-dwarf species, definitely. Are crabs allowed in Washington, or do they make everyone shave? If you have crabs and you don't shave, I don't know. I hope you do. There's no gambling in Beechwood, and I never slice. Has anyone seen the short or the link where Aquatic Arts is tired of people stealing their IPs and pictures to the point of offering rewards if people find sites using their imagery? I know that they have a disclaimer like saying that we will sue you if you take our photos, and you can't really blame them. Like fish pictures, it's not easy taking pictures of fish. Just ask Jimmy. He'll tell you all about it. Especially like, guppies or endlers. They're like the worst to try to take pictures of. So yeah, if they're actually putting in the time, I don't know if they're like buying thumbnails from someone or if they're actually taking the pictures themselves. Either way, they're either paying for them or doing the work themselves. And I would be pissed if someone was stealing them. Like Arizona Aquatic Gardeners, they steal like all their pictures. And I would be pissed if they stole one of mine because they're a shit company. And if they're stealing my pictures, I would be really upset. Oh, sorry about that too. But I really hate that company. Smash the like button. Yes. Where are the pups? Shh, don't talk about them. They'll wake up. They're all 3 sleeping right by the air conditioner. Rodney Dangerfield missed that genius so much. Yeah, this world could definitely use some Rodney Dangerfield for sure. Yeah, there's so many that we need right now that are gone. Hey there, Bob, and everyone else. Cheers. All. P.S. Nice hat, Bob. Thank you. I do like it myself. I've had aquabitters steal my pics. Yeah, I don't know that I would care about aquabit too much, but it's definitely annoying. I mean, I steal Jimmy's pictures all the time, but it's not really stealing because he gives me permission. I think it was about 5 years ago. I was like, hey, do you have a picture of this? Hey, do you have a picture of this? And he's just like, I'm just going to upload like a ton of fish pictures to Google Drive. He finally got tired of me bugging him. So now I have like this whole Google Drive that he shared with me full of fish pictures. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, I kept 6 discus and a 55 until they were mostly grown and kept 12 and a 130 after that. They did great with water changes weekly. Ooh, what's the question? Where is the question? Oh, how many discus in a 75 or a 125? There you go. I've never kept discus, so we'll go with Zen Ginger's answer. Speaking of suspect companies, why does Corey still use Universal Rocks? I don't think there's anything else. There's the, I mean, I can't speak for him, obviously, but I don't know that there's anything else. There's that one company in Canada, but that's not going to be. But their backgrounds are hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I don't know. It's hot in British Columbia. Yep. I can't imagine 2 hours north is really. Yeah, I was gonna say Robin Williams too, George Carlin. Like, man, we need these people back. This PC nonsense is getting out of control. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. We'll go back to fish. Just ask for the picture. The fact that you ask, they will probably let you use it with credit. So the key to good fish pictures is annoy Jimmy. Right now he's gonna wake up with like 200 emails. Hey, can I use this picture from random people? Uh-oh. I'm almost out of water. When I run out of water, I'm definitely ending the stream. I just steal Jimmy's pictures to help convince my parents to let me get a specific fish. That probably works. Or pay Jimmy. Yeah, he used to sell his pictures. He used to, well, he would sell prints. I wish he still did. Well, that explains why Universal Rocks can be so annoying. Yeah, I can't think of another company. You know, you can get stuff shipped over from China, but that's not going to be cheap either. And I don't know, it seems like a gamble to me. I tried working with some, actually with like 3 different places to get my own backgrounds made. And it was just a nightmare process. So that never worked out. I think it's a DIY, no background with glare or Universal Rock. I assume Corey doesn't have time to DIY. Yeah, I have some. I mean, to be fair, I do have, I think, 4 Universal Rock backgrounds, and only one of them was bad. But that's still 25% of them being bad. So, Keegan said, "Heck, I'd pay Jimmy to take pictures of my fish too." Yeah. Yep. Oh, Corey can't afford the price. Oh, yep. Heck, I'd pay Jimmy. Yeah, well, that explains. Have you ever seen fish abuse? I see it from the Florida idiots all the time. Almost every time them idiots upload a video, I see fish abuse. So, yeah, the answer is yes. K Stu donated $2 through Super Chat. Why did I not see that? I just saw it because it popped up on my screen. Oh, there it is. That's weird. Am I lagging? Am I here? Hello? This thing on? K Stu, a cold shower for you on my dime, good sir. I actually took a cold shower right before I went on the stream. I always take cold showers, though. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees out or 30 degrees out. Cold showers are my jam. Golf putt the like button. I like it. Golf putt. I don't. There's not a lot of things that annoy me, but one thing that does annoy me, I would say not annoy, but it's like a pet peeve, is when people say smash the like button. Like, no one's smashing the like button, and yet like every single YouTuber smash the like button. I'm just like, okay, just ask them to hit the like button. They don't need to smash anything. Like, what are you smashing? Ugh, I don't know why. It's a pet peeve. You don't know why it bugs you, but it does. Steenfott Aquatics will catch them all fishing, put hundreds of betta with a koi. Yeah, that's, So, yeah. Yes. Definitely one of the idiots I'm talking about. They also got busted, like, faking rescues, reusing the same... boy, I'm telling you, it's terrible. I'm having the opposite problem. I was getting hot in Cali, and I rearranged all my tanks and took all heaters out. It's been overcast like every day. It peaks at like 76, but a low at 61 at night. And honestly, your fish are probably just fine. I've found that I rarely use heaters. The only tanks I use heaters in are like pleco tanks, where I know like they really want that heat. But a lot of fish, like everyone's like 78, 80 degrees, 78, 80 degrees. That's where it's got to be. And it's just not true. It's just not. Like 74 is a really good temperature for like rainbow fish. There's just a lot of fish that don't need to be at 78 degrees. Drop kick the like button. Another pet peeve, tickle the bell. Oh, I've actually never heard that one. Is that what they say? Man. After looking for trout goodies for 3 years, I now have found 2 different strains in 2 weeks. Nice. Nice. Slap the like button like I slapped your mom. Okay. Okay. Still, if we smash the like button, they'd smash the PC too. I don't get it. Like, why is it even I don't even understand how that becomes a thing. Smash it. Yeah, Nerd's video was very helpful in exposing the Florida trash heads. Wasn't that crazy? Like, I don't know. Karate chop the like button. I like that. Cobra Kai. Ha! You want to know what my other pet peeve is? Like, I'm a pretty nice going, easy, nice, easy going dude, right? Like, nothing really bothers me. But if you show up at a 4-way intersection before I do and just sit there and then have the audacity to wave me through, I am just like, dude, you were there first. Go. Like, why are you waving me through? Go. You were there first. Stop trying to be nice. Just, I don't know why that irks me so much. If you're there first, you have the right of way. Don't just sit there like an idiot and wait 5 minutes and then wave me through. Oh, man. I'm telling you. Woo. Getting all fired up. It's getting hot in here. I wish someone out there would try and breed a dwarf goldfish that was small enough to go in a small tank so people could stop abusing normal goldfish. I think that in of itself would be abuse, personally. Like balloon rams and balloon rainbows. That's abuse in my opinion. Don't tickle my bell. I missed Nerd's video about Florida. It's really good. They really break down how they're using the same snakes. Like, one of them idiots went down into a sewer and they were like, oh man, we caught this huge python down here, when they in fact put the python down there. And so they stage their videos. It's just terrible. And man, it's given just fish YouTubers and reptile YouTubers are just getting a really bad rap by a lot of them idiots down in Florida. Michael Faulkner says, down in Florida, I just let my tanks fluctuate temps between 73 and 81. I mean, that's how it is in the wild, right? There's very few places that maintain a constant temperature year round. And I think, you got to kind of put it in perspective like that. Like my thermostat in my fish room was set to 72 degrees. So in the winter, it never got colder than that. But in the summer, it would, like now, they're in the low 80s. It fluctuates. Or when they won't go, so you start to go, and then all of a sudden they decide to go, and yeah. Oh, man. Oh, man. Steenfott Aquatics, are the AquaClear and Marineland hang-on back filters any good? I've heard mixed reviews. What's your opinion and people's in chat? Jacob, I think you're going to get mixed reviews on all hang-on back filters. You're always going to get people that love them, and you're always going to get people that hate them. I don't mind the Marineland filters. I think the bio wheel or whatever, I mean, that's pretty scammy. It's just marketing. It doesn't really do a whole lot. Yes, there's some beneficial bacteria on there, but it's kind of silly. But as a whole, I do like that they do have they're just really big. As far as when you compare them to an AquaClear, I feel like the comparative Marineland is going to have more room for, because I like to DIY my own filter media, and so I like big containers. The bigger the better for me, as far as you know what I'm talking about. I hope, or I'm just an idiot. Nerd's video about the Florida people is great. Here it is. You actually can't post links in here. Only mods can post link, but thank you. I appreciate it. You just got to look up New England Reptile Distributors is what NERD stands for. Oh, who do we got here? I just saw someone. Oh, Twin Cities Guppy. What's going on, buddy? I hope the store is doing great for you. Good to see you. Good to see you, as always. Me and FishKid61 are in a library, and the senior are stop watching the video. What? The censor? if I had free glass available to me, would I build my own tank? I think it would be, well, I don't know that I would trust myself enough to build like a 300-gallon tank, but I've always wanted like a long, skinny tank, like the 33-gallon longs. Like I would build one of those and not be worried about it at all. As long as you're doing it correctly, they're not hard to build. But yeah, I don't know. Just something about like 300 gallons. I don't know if I'm okay building that, but anything under 100 gallons, yeah. As long as you're getting the right size and the right type of glass, not an issue. And obviously the right type of silicone. And making sure that you're putting the glass panels where they need to be. A lot of good points about temperature. Helps me with my Africans and aggression and breeding. They take it easy when it's cool for 3 to 4 months. Yeah, this is a problem that people have with like angelfish. Angelfish sometimes get a bad rap about being pretty aggressive, but it's usually when the temperatures are higher. Once it gets like 80 plus, that's usually triggers breeding, and then of course there's gonna be aggression. Curtis says, "Where's Candy been?" She might be lurking, but super busy, new job, just moved. So super busy. I like mine as much as the title so far. Good points. I love the gold white clouds too. Yep. I've heard that the glow bettas are sterilized before they shipped off and sold. Do you know if there's any truth to this? I want to breed them and give away because there shouldn't be a patent. I think even if you give them away, it might be illegal. But I'm sure you've done more research than I have. But they say the same thing about like glow tetras and glow danios, but people breed them. So I'm sure that I'm sure that's just marketing. That's just them saying like, oh, they're sterile. Don't even, there's no point in even trying. They're not going to breed. So maybe, like I said, people are breeding the tetras and the danios. Uh-oh. Everyone's awake now. All right, we're going to cut this off at 6:30. 13 more minutes. Because these guys are going to start getting rowdy. Aren't you? Paul, you're in the Wild Type Library section. What do you think of the optimal temperature for a pea puffer? I don't think, again, like, I think fluctuating temperatures are optimal. I wouldn't go below 74 and I wouldn't go above 80. That's what I would do. Candy has a new job. Candy is now a manager at the co-op, I believe. I think she's customer service manager. She actually moved over here as well. So yeah, new job title, just super busy. Hello. Steenfott Aquatics seniors? What? Oh boy. Happy to know I've heard of the idiots down there until now. Happy to know I've never heard of the idiots down there until now, but saddened that I'm now aware of them. Yep, it's pretty disgusting, but really, like, YouTube is not stopping it, so no one's really going to be able to stop it. So I keep my house at 72 degrees year-round. Do you think my tanks would stay do you think my tanks would and is acceptable temperature? Kind of lost me at the end there, but I think it depends specifically on what type of fish. Definitely there's a large number of fish that can tolerate low to mid 70s. What about stir-by cories at 70? I don't know that I would go. Like, again, if it's fluctuating and it goes to 70, okay, but if it stays at 70, like if that's your constant temperature, then I wouldn't do it. Why don't they sell kit tanks shipped in parts? Disclaimer and signed waiver needed, of course. I'd totally pay for special tank specs shipped to me that wouldn't normally fit door-wise. Oh, man. Well, if you're talking like a large tank, I mean, I don't know that there's, if no one is doing it, then there's not money to be made in it. Like, I guess that's just the answer. Like, somebody by now, I feel like would have found a way, if it was profitable, to make that happen. But boy, even with a waiver, I couldn't even imagine like the liability of that. Yeah, I thought you finally made Candy mad enough. Multiple times, but no, that's not why she's here, or not why she's not here. Shipping tanks is costly and a huge chance of breakage if not shipped correctly. Yeah, but yeah, and so I was gonna say that, but I mean, like Custom Aquarium builds custom aquariums and ship them, so that could be done. But like just shipping panes of glass, like just especially large tanks. Let's like even if you ship 20 tanks and only one of them like breaks, that's probably all your profit on all 20 sales. So 19 out of 20 arrive fine, one breaks, you have to reship it. That's probably all your profit, all gone for all of those sales. I live in Florida. I'm not one of those guys, although I do like rooftop tents. Okay, well, I will say in Florida, you probably need rooftop tents in Florida with all the snakes and alligators and Bigfoots and Mothman. you need to be perched up high in Florida. At that point, you'd be better off buying glass from local glass cutters. Yeah, exactly. Steenfott Aquatics, listen to this alteration. Steenfott stood sadly selling Shelly's sheepishly. What? Okay. Huh. Gotcha, didn't I? You thought you were going to sneak that one past, but I nailed it. Yes, it should be a challenge to try so as fast as you can. That might be better at buying. Have you noticed wild-caught fish being more sensitive in general? I'm sometimes unsure to get fish when I know they are wild-caught for that reason. No, I've if anything, I think that wild-caught fish are less sensitive, especially when there's just the amount of inbreeding that's going on. You know, just strains like hobbyist strains are just really, I don't think as strong as wild-caught strains. But I think it's a different set of challenges for sure, but I don't think they're any like more or less delicate. I don't know. You know, it's going to depend on the fish, but you know, like a lot of like farm bred fish are going to have built up immunities to a lot of like aquarium strain diseases. So, you know, their immune systems are probably going to be worse in that aspect, but I don't know. There's a lot of things that go into it. I would definitely not buy a fish just because I said wild caught. That I just said that because I want a specific cube, but it's too big to fit in my doorway. I was at the fish store and the Rominos tetras would fall in my hand. It was the coolest thing ever, and I want some now. Jacob, you'll find that a lot of schooling fish will do that, especially a lot of tetras. And they're only following your hand because they've been trained. They know like your hand means fish food. That's why they follow your hand, because they think you're throwing in fish food. So you can actually do that with a lot of fish. For not using a heater, what's the lowest the temp should go for the average fish? I mean, at like 74, I would start like making an effort to monitor my fish. If things got below 74, that's when I would start thinking like, okay, what fish is this? Where did it come from? Does it get this? Can it go colder, or does it get colder in its natural environment? But I mean, anything like 78 or 74 to 78, I'm not worried about it at all. I currently own 150, a solid condition with stand minus a single pane. I have looked around, and replacing this pane at this thickness cost almost $1,000. Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine with prices now. I mean, everything is just skyrocketing in price. I think hobby red discus are way more hardy than wild, but guppies, total opposite with inbreeding. Yeah, exactly. There's definitely the outliers, but I don't think, like, if anybody had an opportunity to buy like Dean's wild caught discus, like wild, not ones that he bred, but like wild ones, I'm sure everyone would just jump on the chance. Rewatch The Terminal starring Tom Hanks. My husband has never seen it. He liked it. Anyone remember that movie? I know it. I've never watched it. But yeah, I know of it. Tom Hanks. I'm all about Money Pit when it comes to Tom Hanks. That's one of my favorite Tom Hanks movie is Money Pit. Will 30 Emperor Tetras be too many for a heavily planted 75? Nope, not at all. Bob, have you kept glass cats? Yes, I have a species of glass cats now, but as far as like the common glass cat that you see, I think they're super awesome, but I've never kept them. They've, in my opinion, they never do well long term. I always have a heater set up in all tanks, but I leave them unplugged during the summer. That way, if needed, it's ready to go. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to do it too. Like in my fish room, for instance, I normally only heat the bottom tanks because heat rises and, you know, ambient temperature. It makes a pretty big difference. Rewatch terminal depends. I think, yep. Currently, okay. Anyone think 7 gallon with a... Anyone here think a 7 gallon with a female bellida and 3 coolie loaches ran on a filter twice the size is bad? Fish kid, I think you just got to worry about flow. If you have like a 20 gallon hang on back filter on a 7 gallon tank, it might be too much flow for a betta fish. Dean is selling his discus. No. That was just a total what if, Kangley. A total what if. It's late for you, but it's 125 for me. Checkmate. I lose. My friend caught a big northern water snake while we were fishing. They are angry little buggers. Kangley, everyone wants them. That was strictly hypothetical. Strictly a hypothetical. But, I mean, they are breeding, so maybe eventually you can get some offspring. Yeah, my temps that I let go are bigger-bodied adult African cichlids. Yes, I should just say right there, that's a good point. The heat thing does not apply to fry. Like, I don't do that with fry. Definitely got to baby your fry, because they're babies. My temps to do that for bigger-bodied African cichlids, adults. I've had those tanks, I've had those tanks get up to 70 before I really worried. Oh, get down to 70 before I really worried. Had some bad luck with heaters, so I avoid where I can. Yeah. There's not a heater made that I trust right now in this. Not a single one in the hobby that I trust, so... Oh, excuse me. I've been burned way too many times by them burning my fish to trust heaters. No thanks. Did you know the actor that played Wilson on The Castaway was also the volleyball from the scene in Top Gun? Nope, Curtis, you're the only one that knows that. My friend, I got that one. Steenfott Aquatics, here it is. Corey clamped colossal clams clasping chlorine. I actually thought you were asking a question about Corey. I wish Corey shipped to Canada. I really want some of his products. Yeah, the best I can tell you is that they're working on it very hard, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So, trust me, they want to. It's not like they don't want to ship to Canada. It's not like, hey, we could go ship to Canada and make $1 billion. Nah, let's not do that. So it's not that they don't want to. They definitely want to, and they're trying. They're working really hard at it. I have no idea like how far into that process they are, but I know they are trying. So, how do you heat your tanks then? Well, I have fish rooms, so I just heat the room. Like I said, I just keep the thermostat at 72. Some of the tanks, like with plecos and fry, are heated. That will raise like the ambient temperature as well. Obviously, it's right now it's 108 degrees outside, so that helps too. So, yeah, and then I just let the tanks fluctuate with the seasons. It never gets lower than 72, and that's just fine for the fish. I realize not everyone has fish rooms and can do it that way, but yeah. Is there an external emergency shutoff for heaters that you can buy? Yes, but those fail too. I don't find those to be any more reliable, Caitlin, than the heaters themselves. Like there's no like, how can I say it? There's no accountability in this hobby. Like if you go back like 20 or 30 years, they made products that last. Well, now they make way more money building a product that'll last like 2 to 3 years, so you have to buy it again. Like that's just the way this hobby is now. So the reptile world's the same way. It's just junk that lasts only a couple years. I will say having a heater, it's called the heater controller, that is extra protection, but they fail too. Just ask Michael's Fish Room on YouTube. he had a heater with a heater controller that is supposed to shut it off if it gets too hot. That failed too, and it fried all his fish. So it is an extra layer of protection, but it's still not like a guarantee, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Probably the 15th time someone asked, but what is the wispy orange tip plant in the tank behind you? Oh man, I know what it is. Someone will say it before I remember it. Pinnafinita. Hygrophila pintafinita. Pinnafinita, pintafinita. Let's see if I can at least get you the correct spelling. Hygrophila pintafinita. Where'd you go? Oh, here you are. There you go. That's the one. Could your next stream be on overstocking and stunting? Overstocking and stunting. Well, we definitely don't want to like promote that. We can talk about it though. I'm about ready to shut down the stream though. The dogs are, this is a small room for all of us to be cramped up into. So, is it hard to grow? I would say this is definitely a. It's not going to be on anyone's easiest, aquarium plant list. I would say it's definitely in like the medium to high category as far as like high tech tanks. You're not going to grow it in a low tech tank. I'm sure there's someone out there that it is, and they're going to leave a comment. But especially to get this color, like you're definitely going to need high tech to get this color. I'm removing my heater if my room stays around 71 degrees year round. I mean, I'd hate. So here's the thing, it works for me because I have I heat the room. I would hate to say that yes, that's going to work for you, and then it's going to kill all your fish. So, it's going to be your call. You could just try it and see how your fish do. Monitor the temperature, and then if you have to plug the heater back in, then you have to plug it back in. But I don't want to say like, oh yeah, they'll be fine, no problem, and then then they die. So way off. I have that, and it spread all over the wood I planted it on. Definitely one of my favorites. Thank you, Bob, and the best. Yeah. So yeah. Could you use a reptile heat mat duct taped to the outside bottom of the tank as a heater? I don't know if anyone's tried that, but again, even with those, you have to buy a heater controller. Yeah. See, they're telling me it's time to go. So yeah, so even with those, those don't even come like with a temperature. Like you just plug those in, you need a heater controller for those. So I fert my tank and it grows but stays green. Yeah, so you definitely need highlight and CO2 to get them pink and orange like this. DJ Fat Tony says, any experience breeding Panda gara? Thank you. Completely luck. Just completely luck is how I bred mine. I will say, if you want to try to successfully breed them, there's, I think, one, maybe two farms breeding them without steroid injections. And what they say lots of flow and lots of oxygen. So your oxygen levels need to be really high, and you need lots of flow, and then they're seasonal as well. So it's like you got to go through the whole motion of like, spring with all the melt off and lots, the rivers are higher, lots of flow, lots of oxygen, and then, and then it calms down and it's kind of stagnant. You got to go through like the whole thing. So I just got lucky. If you look up Panda gara on Seriously Fish, they have a pretty decent like segment there about breeding them, and I would advise definitely checking them out. Just seriouslyfish.com, and you can just search for Panda gara. Just did it recently. Thanks for super chat. And Daryl Scott with the $1 super chat. Thank you. And Merrick is here, so we are now gonna go. Sorry, Merrick, to just leave when you're here, but it is still 180 degrees and it's hot, and yeah, I'm not gonna make it the 2 hours. Do plecos eat swords? Bristlenose plecos have been known to munch on swords. Outside of bristlenose, I haven't really heard of plecos eating sword plants. Late to the party, but here nonetheless. Oh, good. More people coming in right as I'm ending the stream. I don't blame you, though. I normally go toward 2-7, but the dogs say it's time to go. They're not enjoying being locked up in this room. So at that point, I will say thank you, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone who super chatted, all the mods, all the subscribers, all the likers, and everyone who left a thumbs up. You know, leave a thumbs up on your way out. I would appreciate it if you liked the stream. If you didn't like it, leave a thumbs down, you know. But at least, you know, do something. So, members, again, we'll do the members only stream on Thursday as, well, I can't say as always because I was a day late last week, but we'll do it sometime this week. We do them weekly, so probably Thursday, though. And then everyone else, I'll see you. Oh, I got a video actually coming out tomorrow, so check out the video coming tomorrow morning. And then otherwise, I will see you all next Monday. Have a good week and stay cool. Stay cool.